Thank you. Thanks to all of you for being here. Mr. I'm sorry, it's Moring, Platte. Sorry, I know your first name. Mr. Moore, thank you. Can you tell me, as the Department of Defense Inspector General, the position you're nominated for, you just went through that you'd uphold the U.S. Constitution, you would swear an oath to the Constitution of the United States, right? Correct?
Yes, Senator.
And to uphold the laws of the United States. You're a lawyer, but IGs don't have to be lawyers, but both as an IG, but as a lawyer, uphold the laws of the United States.
Yes, Senator.
So I'm concerned about, in September, the president issued an executive order tasking the Department of Justice to come up with a list of domestic terrorist organizations. He gave a very broad definition of what domestic terrorist organizations were, including descriptors like anti-Christian, different views on the family, religion, and morality. There's also reports that the Department of Defense is participating in an interagency weaponization working group made up of people from Department of Defense, from the CIA, Department of Justice, FBI, IRS, to go after the president's adversaries or enemies. As the Inspector General, you would be expected to, flag issues of law and investigate, deeply problematic issues. If a Department of Defense intelligence agency, like the NSA, DIA, the service intelligence agencies, Army Intel, were to target American citizens for their political views and collect on American citizens, is that in violation of the law?
Senator, my answer
just press
to
your mic if you could. And maybe it's just over here. I can't.
It's lit.
It's on. Okay, got it. Sorry.
Senator, the answer to your question has to do with the role of the Inspector General. I believe that the General Counsel at the department would be better able to address your question.
But this is just about law. I mean, I understand that the IG isn't the one making those legal announcements. But if you learned that intelligence agencies were wiretapping American citizens because of their political views, is that in violation of U.S. law?
The Department IG only conducts oversight with regard to the department. And if your question is limited to the department, it's possible that the Inspector General may have a role in determining whether or not those agencies followed their own policies.
But just this is an issue of law. I mean, imagine, so let's say the National Security Agency, which does wiretaps, SIGINT, and I'm a former CIA officer, work with them all the time. Let's say the President of the United States tasked them to wiretap people who were attending the No Kings rally in Detroit, Michigan. Would that be legal for the intelligence community, the DoD intelligence community, to target American citizens for their political views?
Senator, I appreciate your sentiment and your concern, but it's not within the remit of the Inspector General.
But it
to
is,
make
it's
legal
law,
determinations.
right? I mean, I think in general, and I would hope this would be a bipartisan thing, that the idea that our intelligence community, of which I was a proud member, would be turned against American citizens because of their alleged political views is as fundamental to who we are as anything that I've seen come before this committee. And I want you to say, separate from what your remit would be, I want you to say publicly that we're not going to turn agencies like the CIA and the NSA and all these things against the American people. And you are the last line of defense. You are an IG, quite literally, overseeing conduct of the department. So if the intelligence agencies were asked to surveil American citizens, what would you do? Would you open an investigation at a minimum? Would you push back at all? Or is it just okay now? And God forbid, right? God forbid that this is just kind of the way we're going to be. The president says these are domestic terrorist organizations, and so we're now surveilling American citizens because of their views. I would hope my Republican colleagues would find that just as repugnant as me. I want to hear you say that you know that that is against not only the law, but our values.
Senator, I really appreciate your concern, and my sentiments are with you, but it's not my role to have personal opinions. I'm guided by the facts and the application of the law to the facts.
Well, I would just say it shouldn't be about your role. It should be about who we are as American citizens and what we do with our government when we turn it against people. And I yield back.
You know, I'm perfectly willing to answer the question. You're exactly right. You shouldn't be targeted for your religious beliefs, but it's a little easier for me. I'm my own agent. I can say what I want. I was elected and have it. They are going to be working for people, and it's a little harder for them to have a philosophical discussion with you. But I will tell you that your questions are hypothetical ones, but there is a real question. It was called Arctic frost, and it was administered by the Biden administration, where 9 members of Congress were targeted with unconstitutional warrants. They were given subpoenas for their geolocation. According to the Carpenter case that was decided by the Supreme Court, your geolocation, you do have a ownership or a privacy interest in that. And they were illegally surveilled, 9 members of Congress. And if we're looking for bipartisan criticism of surveillance run amok, that's a place we might want to start.